Something that you are very focused on is revitalizing antitrust enforcement, because revitalizing antitrust enforcement is really about protecting our markets, promoting competition, and getting a good result for consumers and workers. Is that fair to say?
Very fair. And other businesses. Very fair. And other businesses as well.
And other businesses as well. Yeah, well said. Let's just talk, though, about some of the barriers to antitrust enforcement, effective enforcement. This is something in just my short time in the Senate that I've seen over and over and over again.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we cut through the noise and shine a light on what's happening in Washington and beyond. Today we're diving into a fiery hearing where Senator Josh Hawley called out Congress, the courts, and big tech. If you're tired of tech giants like Google and Meta playing by their own rules, this is one you don't want to miss. So hit that like button, and let's get into it.
Is that antitrust suits that you would think should be brought don't get brought by the government. Suits that you think should be pursued don't get pursued. So can you speak to some of the barriers to effective antitrust enforcement that you see out there that you're familiar with?
Well, I mean, I do think big tech is an area where we've been quite impressed with just the wide range of suits that have been brought by enforcers and bipartisan enforcers across multiple administrations at this point. And, you know, that's encouraging and something that we've already discussed a bit today at the hearing. But usually what is most challenging for enforcers is having enough resources. I mean, these guys are often outgunned by the big tech firms that have unlimited budgets. The former chief legal officer at Google said publicly that they had about $1 billion to manage any sort of legal risk that was presented to them as a company. And we have enforcers that even in these trials will have about 1/10 of the resources that any individual defendant that they're taking on might have. So put all of that on turbo speed when it comes to big tech, and the inequity in resources is quite stark.
Look, big tech has been running unchecked for years. They're massive, rich, and untouchable. Or so they think. Senator Hawley praised those fighting antitrust enforcement. But the government is often outgunned. Google alone has $1 billion for legal battles. Meanwhile, government enforcers have a fraction of that. Now here's where it gets interesting. Under the Clayton Antitrust Act, person harmed by anti-competitive behavior can sue. That's right, anyone. But Hawley pointed out that it rarely happens. Why? Because private companies, especially smaller ones, can't afford the legal war that comes with taking on big tech. One witness said it flat out: you have to pick your battles when you're running a startup. And going up against Google or Meta, that could your business. But that's exactly what needs to change.
Mr. Basbaz, let me just ask you in this respect, your company has suffered, I would say, maybe more than anybody at the hands of Google and their anti-competitive conduct. Did your company bring an enforcement suit, a private enforcement suit under the Clayton Act? And if not, why not?
No, I don't believe we have. As we were just talking about, it's very resource intensive and time intensive. And, you know, as a startup and, you know, over our 15-year course of existing, you have to make trade-offs. You know, we're trying to run a profitable company, which DuckDuckGo is. And so we're not just trying to raise more and more money and build up more and more equity and debt over time. And so you have to sort of pick your battles a little bit.
The call to Congress. Hawley wasn't just pointing fingers, he brought solutions. He argued that Congress needs to open the courtroom doors again. Here's what he laid out: let private citizens sue more easily, remove strict standing and injury requirements, allow class action lawsuits in antitrust cases, raise the damages and financial incentives. Imagine big tech answering to private plaintiffs across the country. That would shake them to the core.
We could fix that. We could allow class action suits in the antitrust context. We could open up the courtroom doors and allow private parties access in such a way that it would make economic sense to bring a suit, and you'd have a better chance of prevailing. I just wonder if it's time we start thinking outside the box a little bit, or maybe it's not outside the box, maybe it's getting back to first principles, because this is, after all, how the Clayton Act was written. I mean, it was written to allow not just government enforcers, and we understand the importance of that, but it was also meant to allow injured private parties to get into court and have a real shot at enforcing the law and recovering damages, treble damages, under current law.
Facing a jury, the ultimate accountability. This part right here, Hawley dropped the mic. He said there's nothing quite like facing a jury. A real trial with real damages. $1 billion class action lawsuit changes the game. CEOs, boards, and shareholders would finally have to take responsibility. Conclusion. Senator Hawley's message was clear. It's time to restore the original spirit of the Clayton Act. Time to empower the people. Time to give smaller players a real shot. Big tech shouldn't be above the law, and the courtroom should be a place where justice is possible, not just a playground for billion-dollar corporations. Let's keep the pressure on, let's stay informed, and let's keep demanding better. If you found this breakdown helpful, give the video a thumbs up, drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed for more bold takes like this. Until next time, stay sharp, stay loud, and stay free.